Good morning, card community. It is RJ, and it is time for the Sunday trivia recap. Hooray! Loud cheers, mass hysteria, fireworks going off, dogs and cats living together, all kinds of shenanigans. But I love shenanigans, and still we have time to get to some great trivia and fantastic prizes. So let's get to it. All right. So the question on Monday. I did all World Series questions last week. So the question on Monday was the Yankees obviously have had an incredible dynasty in World Series play. Of all the World Series that have ever been played, they've been in, they've participated in approximately, a third of those. You know, they've actually been in, actually nearly like 40% of the World Series ever played, they were in it in some fashion. It might be down to a 30% now, but they've been there a lot. They've won approximately a quarter of the World Series ever played. So clearly they got a lot of legendary Hall of Famers, legendary managers. In fact, they had four of the greatest managers ever assembled who won multiple World Series for them. Those four managers are Miller Huggins, who was the manager for the first run of glory years back in the 20s. Next came Joe McCarthy, who took over in the 30s through the just before the war years. Then we all know Casey Stengel came in 49, and all through the 50s he was their manager. And then lastly, Joe Torre in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s. He was the manager who led them to several World Series. Those four managers are the legendary managers of Yankee lore who, again, took their teams to multiple World Series, consecutive World Series victories. And I asked this question: other than those four, is there, or name for me, any other manager of the Yankees who won a World Series and was elected to the Hall of Fame as a manager? Now, I staged the question that way because several people suggested Bill Dickey, but he did not win a World Series as a manager. A lot of people said Yogi Berra, but Yogi Berra was not inducted into the Hall of Fame as a manager. He was inducted for his playing career. So I said, who was the one manager who took the Yankees to a World Series and also made it to the Hall of Fame as a manager who was not one of those legendary ones? Well, the card's smudged here. I'm trying to wipe the smudge off. The answer is a man named Bucky Harris. A lot of people don't know Bucky Harris. He had a very lengthy managerial career. Here you go. He went to 21 World Series games. Those are games, not total World Series. It was 11 and 10 in those games. And you can see his bio here in the back of the card. But he was the manager of the 1947 Yankees, one of those late 40s, early 50s era World Series where it was Yankees-Dodgers. And he actually led them all year, took them to the World Series, and they beat the Dodgers. Bucky Harris as a Yankee manager that year. He was also the manager in 48, but because he came in third, that's why they got rid of him and brought in Casey Stengel. A little history of the Yankees there. So the prize for getting that right, this fantastic Aaron Judge from this year's Stars of the MLB offering. So that is your prize for getting that question right, or ending up picking here. So here we go. All of the individuals on the screen here were kind enough to submit a guess. Scroll up and down just briefly so you can see your name on the list. Again, I'm doing this by myself, scrolling through my phone. I don't double check junk mail. So if your name's not on the list, I apologize, but I'm doing my best and it's free. So sorry. So here we go. As we always do, we will shuffle once. There's a shuffle. and I will spin. You must hit 3 times on my channel in order to win. I do that just to increase the suspense and give everybody a shot to possibly win. So here we go. Good luck to everybody. As always, I've got several great things to show you next week. Certainly got great prizes and trivia. I picked up a random box of something most people would pass on. I would usually pass on it, but I felt like doing something. I'm always going through the Walmart and the Target aisle looking for boxes of cards, but I don't buy, I don't often buy Donruss or Chrome or some of the other products. I'm not interested in Heritage at all. So I'm trying to find oddball things. Every once in a while I'll pick up one of those Upper Deck Goodwin Sport Kings or something like that. The random stuff. And I ended up picking up a random box of cards. I won't tell you what it is, but I'm ripping through that on Wednesday and Friday. So there are autograph hits possible, and there are what else? Autograph hits possible and relic hits possible. Hunter Boucher is kicking it real hard there. 1, 2, 1, 2. So that'll be on Thursday, or Wednesday and Friday for everybody to see. I'm very excited, and we all have things we're waiting for all year long, and a lot of times that's opening day or World Series, or that's Shaw's third, isn't it? Yeah, it's Shaw's third. So luckily I have my what do I want to say? My Canadian stamp. So Shaw, congrats! You will get this. It actually gives me an opportunity to get rid of something else I have. I think you expressed some interest in, but I mentioned I got a pack of cards from somebody. I won't, rehash who that was. You can look it up in the video I made of the day. I got a care package from an individual, and it included a card. This doesn't fit my collection, so I'm going to pay it forward. This was a relic, a future phenoms of a guy named Peter Sejna. I'm not sure what team he plays for. Is that the Blues, maybe? St. Louis Blues? Yeah. So, but again, I'm not a hockey card guy at all. So, Shaw, I'm going to send this one along with the Aaron Judge for you. Helps me get rid of it out of my shelf. It's taking up space. Can't have that. So, congrats to Shaw on that. I'll be sending that your way. Moving on to Wednesday's question. First thing we do is remove Shaw from the list. You cannot win but once a week on my channel, so Shaw is out. But I will leave his name up there because he did enter a guess. And again, I'm going to scroll up and down through the names here so you can note if you see your name. Nobody new, but a couple repeats I want to shout out. DS Sports, thanks for stopping by. Basement Card Collector and Gradeworthy are not new to the community, and they're not really new to my guess, but I want to shout out those channels. And then Hunter Boucher, thanks for stopping back. Everybody else is a long-time participant, but thank you all for showing up. I really appreciate it. So on Wednesday, I asked the question. In World Series history, there have been many times that the World Series occurred between 2 representatives of the same city. Most notably, all the times the Yankees and Giants, or Yankees and Dodgers, squared off. I think, and again, don't quote me on this because I'm not certain, but I believe the last time the teams from the same city squared off were when the Yankees and Mets faced each other back in 2000. I think that's the last one. But I asked, what was the first year that it ever happened? And believe it or not, it was fairly quickly. The World Series first happened in 1903. For reasons I shan't get into now, it did not happen in 1904. But then it began annually from 1905 through 1993 until the strike in 1994. And then we haven't missed a year since 1995. So what was the first year? It was 1906, believe it or not. And the 2 teams were the Chicago teams, the White Sox and the Cubs. I have here cards of the managers of those 2 teams. The Chicago White Sox were managed by a man named Fielder Jones, and Frank Chance was the player manager of the Cubs at the time. These are my T206 reprint cards of those individuals. The White Sox were known as the hitless wonders because their batting average was really piss poor, really low, but their pitching was just phenomenal, led by Hall of Famer Ed Walsh. And obviously that was 1906, the first year the Cubs got there, but the Cubs would win two more the next years, 07 and 08. They won the World Series, so they had their chance. But that was the answer. 1906 Chicago Cubs and White Sox. Here's your prize if we're getting this right. Really cool silver pack promotion, the Mojo Refractor of Shohei Ohtani. That is the prize you guys are all shooting for. The individual up on the screen were kind enough to shout out a guess. We have removed Shaw. We will shuffle once again and spin. Good luck to everybody on this one. Here we go. What are we doing? Hit spin, idiot. Okay. So I was, so that was about I have an interesting box to rip coming up this week. That's on Wednesday and Friday. Just a mail day on, Lisa Z. Bam, bam. Go, Lisa. Mail day on Monday. I did want to say, I'm going to give a shout out, probably release a video in the next day or two on an off day because I really want to get to it. That is Lisa's third. Well, there you go. Congrats, Lisa. Lisa's going to get, sorry for everybody else, but that was a really quick one. It happens sometimes. But Lisa, you're going to get this great Shohei Ohtani card. Congrats to you. Moving on to Friday, the question I had was a little confusing, I realized, because my question was, and should have been presented as, in what year were there the fewest ever hits in a World Series? And that includes all games. So in other words, it's highly probable that this answer is during a 4-game series because that's one less game to accumulate hits. And it's highly probable that one team swept the other. Again, fewer games in which to accumulate hits. And that was the answer. The answer to the question, which year were there the fewest hits in a World Series, total hits by both teams? The answer is 1966, when the Dodgers faced up against the Orioles. Now, this is a 1969 Walter Alston manager card and a 1970 Earl Weaver card, and the Dodgers were swept by the Orioles in 4 games. In fact, the Dodgers were shut out the last 3. They only got 2 runs in the first game, and they were shut out all the other games. So, tough on the Dodgers there. But that was the answer. The prize you were playing for, because I'm going to say that in error, I spoke the question on the screen. I said, during the video, I said, what were the fewest number of runs? Well, I don't think that this particular World Series was accurate in the fewest number of runs because in the, I'm not certain of this, but the 1905 World Series is famously known because there were 5 games and all 5 were shutouts. The Giants swept the A's. They didn't sweep the A's. They lost one, but every time they pitched, they threw a shutout, including the one time the A's beat the Giants that year. So anyway, the answer is the 1966 World Series in which the Dodgers were swept by the Orioles. This is the prize you're playing for. It is just a current New Age Performers card out of the Topps Heritage set featuring Luis Arraez, who's having a phenomenal batting average year. I want to tell this story real quick before we get to spinning. When I bought Topps Gallery back in 2019, getting back into the hobby, I bought a box of Topps Gallery. Loved the product, went through, got the whole set. But if you know your Topps Gallery, like every other product, there's color variations and similar variations in the card. So I got the base of Luis Arraez. There's also something called a printer's proof, which is not numbered, but it's like a limited edition thing, has a gold foil stamp called Printer's Proof. There's also another gold foil stamp called Private Issue, which is a serial numbered card to 250. I think it's 250 or it's 125. I believe it's 250 though. And I had the little Luis Ariz card of that as well. And then he was a rookie that year, so I had his rookie autograph card. I just, one of those random people I picked. Now, I don't know Luis Ariz to this day. I mean, I suddenly was watching a Phillies game the other day. They were playing the Marlins. He's on the Marlins now. And they mentioned this guy was hitting 380 or something like that. I was like, oh my gosh. Wait, I know that name. I had that guy. And then, long story short, about a year ago, somebody asked me to trade for all of those Luis Ariz variations that I put up on the Bay. No, the tradingcarddatabase.com. I offered him up. I don't know the guy. He's nothing to me. He doesn't seem like a big star or nothing. Sure, I put him up for trade. Somebody took him. I got something I wanted. And now it's a year later, and all of a sudden I'm kicking myself because I realized, whoa, if I had held on to that, maybe I would have gotten something nice. Anyway, nothing you can do about it now. So that's the prize you're playing for. Everybody up here on the screen was kind enough to throw out a guess. Lisa and Shaw are out because you can only win once per week on my channel, like I said. Real quick, there's the box score of the games: 5-0, 5-2, 6-0, 1-0, 1-0. So it's highly probable that the least number of total runs scored was that 1905 series. But again, that wasn't the question I was looking for. It was the number of hits. And again, everybody up here did throw out a guess. So we will shuffle once and spin. Good luck to everybody on this. Here we go. So yeah, I was mentioning that there's something I want to do quickly, make a video, and I'll probably do it on an off day. This week, I won't wait until next week and make it my Monday video because it is time again for the Baseball Card Hall of Fame voting. If you're not familiar with that, I'm going to include a couple links below. One is going to be to the video from Ray from Philly. He's the individual who created, or I should say started, the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. I suppose there are many, many, many YouTubers out there who, at one time or another, have put up what they believe to be the most important cards of all time, and consequently maybe their Hall of Fame, so to speak. But Ray started asking other YouTubers to vote. You know, every year, tell me, and he would take like the top 10 suggestions and add those to what he called a Hall of Fame. It's, there's no building, it's not official. Theoretically, it's not really official, but he's become the guy that people go to when they think of a Baseball Card Hall of Fame. It is him doing it. He's got two partners now, Mike from This Baseball Card Life and Victor, the rookie card specialist, are helping him out. And that's out right now to vote. And I'm going to include a link to a couple different postings where they're talking about the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. Not in this link, but whenever I release my ballot, what I do is I film myself voting on the ballot, and I film give my reasons for why I'm choosing one card over another, or why I'm not going to choose such a card. So that will be, I'm going to do that on either Tuesday or Thursday. I will release that video. But I really do hope you all take a chance to check out that balloting. All right. Check out this. Okay, so Shaw's out, Lisa's out, but everybody else has one hit so far. That's the way I like to do this. This is why I do it. You got to hit 3 times because everybody's in it. Everybody's got a chance, so to speak. And I think that is Tommy Jimmy Lacari. I forget for a second there. I thought that was Tommy Markwell, but that was Jimmy Lacari. He's got 2 now. Almost everybody's got 2 also. I thought that was going to be Tommy Markwell, but it was Jimmy. Hunter Butcher, that's you. That was your 3rd, isn't it, sir? Nope, that's 2 for Hunter. Oh my gosh. It has never happened before, never. I'll tell you this before we keep going, that I've had a giant number of people, all with 2, and it came down to the final spin. That has never happened before. All right, Tommy Markle, that's your 3rd. There it is. All right, so we were getting close. We were getting real close. So, all right, so Tommy Markle, you'll be getting the Luis Ariz new age performers from this year's Heritage. Congrats to you, sir. Thank you to everybody who participated. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please consider subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. I really do appreciate your support as I try my best to support everybody else in this great card community, all right? Again, stop back this coming week. I have trivia and prizes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And sometime this week, probably Thursday, Tuesday. I don't want to go too far because I was listening to Ray pitch the Hall of Fame, the Baseball Card Hall of Fame. He's talking, him and Victor and Mike are talking about doing a live voting at the National coming up. I don't know if that's true or not. That's just probably something they threw off the cuff. It'd be a hell of a thing. It would really get a lot of attention, I think, to his Hall of Fame, Baseball Card Hall of Fame creation. So, congrats to you, Ray, if you can get that done. But anyway, that's all I have for you. Stop back again. Hope to see you. Appreciate all the love and support. See you next week. Take care.